Welcome back to the Retro Wave. I am your host, El Tiburon, aka Retro Tiburon, and this month we're talking our favorite Royal Rumble matches of all time. With me, I've got resident wrestling expert, indie wrestling legend, Mr. 24/7, Mr. One Night Dance. We got sexy Chino over here. What's going on, Chino?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So this will be the Big Four. After this episode, we will have knocked down the Big Four. We've done favorite WrestleMania matches. We've done our favorite SummerSlam matches. We've done our favorite Survivor Series matches, and we're coming right back at you with favorite Royal Rumble matches. So I don't know. After this, we might have to look at favorite in your house matches, favorite live event show matches. I don't know.
What about KOR?
King of the Ring? Yeah, that's a good point. We might have to look at that. But yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna rank our all-time favorite. I put really no parameters. I told Sexy Chino, you can pick any match as long as it happened at a Royal Rumble pay-per-view, or what do they call them now? Premium events.
Premium live events.
Oh yeah, whatever that thing is. As long as it happened on one of those. Whoops. I'm still playing the intro music. Oh, I got a button for that. Hold on.
Can you say we're live?
Hold on.
Pendejo. Pendejo.
That one? I got that one and this one.
We'll do it live.
Oldie but a goodie.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
It's a professional podcast, folks. Yeah, so before we start, let me ask you this question. Because I've asked you this question of every pay-per-view we've talked about. What does the Royal Rumble mean to Sexy Chino? What does it mean to you?
The Royal Rumble means a great event. That's, if you think about it, the way it starts is in like January, so it starts off the year. So it's like how you start a pace of a match. Could be slow, could be that, but that's the thing that built up to the next big thing, which is like building up towards WrestleMania, because that's the most exciting time that everybody enjoys. It seems like the road to WrestleMania starts at the Royal Rumble.
Sorry, I wasn't prepared to speak there. I was drinking my Prime
Prime
energy drink. This podcast is not sponsored by Prime, unfortunately, but we'll still give it a shout out because it gets me through the day. Yeah, I think for me, like you said, it almost feels like it's the start of kind of like the road to WrestleMania. You know, we've talked in the past, WrestleMania is kind of like the Super Bowl of wrestling, right? The big event, the big event we're leading up to. So Royal Rumble is always exciting because it's that road from January to April. It's still in WrestleMania is still in April, right?
Yeah, sometimes it goes in March. It depends. Like it's the beginning of April or the end of March. But yeah, like you said, the Royal Rumble is like the starter. And also the coolest thing about the Royal Rumble is the fact that you don't know who's coming in next. That's the anticipation. Like you don't know who's gonna be number one unless they actually tell you who number one is gonna be or number 30, but they don't tell you who's gonna be in between. And that's when another thing about the Royal Rumble, you get surprises.
Yeah, that's a good point because it's always exciting because you're always wondering like, oh, I wonder who's gonna come out. I wonder if they're gonna have a flashback wrestler show up, someone new show up, a new up and comer. I know in the past we've had guys like Vader show up and debut in the Royal Rumble, right, for WWF. Surprise, like return wrestlers like Goldust or Diesel, Kevin Nash, or The Godfather. I've talked about it before. I'm not like really up to date with the wrestling nowadays. The only way I keep up or know kind of what's going on is through YouTube highlights, Instagram shorts. That's kind of how I know, like, okay, I see whatever, Rhea Ripley's a champion, or I'll see, this angle's happening. It's just through that, because I'm sorry, I can't sit through, 10 hours? 10 hours alone with WWE of wrestling a week.
You know what's funny about that is, like, back in the day, like the Attitude Era, like the old school days, we wanted more wrestling. And now
We
got
want
so
more.
much. We wanted so much more wrestling.
We want more.
And now we have so much wrestling.
We want
don't
less.
know what to do with
We want less.
it. We don't have. So yeah, it's great to have all that content and appreciate that so many people are getting opportunities and so many. But man, sometimes it's hard to find all that time just to watch.
And then, like I said, 10 hours of wrestling? I'm just guesstimating here. 10 hours of WWE product a week. And then, what if you watch AEW too? Well, can you have a life if you're just like consuming all the content all the time? I don't know.
Yeah.
Seems like a tough task.
It is a lot, but hey, some people can pull it off.
Yeah. Anything is possible, I guess. All right, so we're gonna get right to it. We're gonna rank our all-time favorite WrestleMania Royal Rumble matches. But first, we got to pay the sponsor. So we're gonna take a little quick commercial break first.
In the ring, out of the ring, out of control.
WWF Royal Rumble on Super NES 16 Meg Mayhem.
This crowd's rocking.
It's perfect. With more WWF superstars than ever before.
Unbelievable 6 men in the ring at once.
No holds barred. Anything goes action.
It's a slugfest.
That's perfect. Each wrestler's specialty move.
Complete mayhem.
The Tombstone Pile
It's out of control.
The Bonsai Drop.
Total chaos.
The perfect plex.
Oh, did you see that?
WWF Royal Rumble on Super NES.
Get it now.
What did you have Royal Rumble on?
I had it on Super NES. Hey, remember when you first bought the game, and I think it was in Toys R Us? You got the poster
You did?
because my brother still has that poster up there in his wall.
You got like a Super Nintendo Royal Rumble poster?
Yeah, you forgot about that one.
Is he selling it?
You just want to buy everything, don't you? But no, it's like we also got it on the Genesis. Remember? But they kinda changed the roster.
You were one of those spoiled kids that had both a Sega Genesis and a Super Nintendo?
Yeah,
Don't tell me you had a Game Boy too.
we had a Game Boy.
What? I didn't know you guys were balling back then. You guys were balling?
Hey, only for wrestling games. That's what mostly anything else.
Yeah, I only had it for the Sega Genesis, but I used to go to my friend's house. Shout out to Francisco, Killer Rules. I used to go to his house because he had the Super Nintendo. So go to his house to be able to play as Mr. Perfect and Tatanka and the Nature Boy. And then over on my end, hey, but Super Nintendo might have had those legends, but it didn't have the model Rick Martel. That was exclusive to the Sega Genesis. Don't forget that, right?
Correct. Like they had different rosters, so they had some of the same guys, but they had different ones.
And the Hulkster. I gotta forget the Hulkster was on the Sega Genesis. Come on now, can't beat that. Yeah. So this is what we're gonna do. I feel like I've repeated myself like 4 times, but favorite Royal Rumble matches. I told you it doesn't have to be an actual Royal Rumble match. As long as it was a match that occurred during the pay-per-view premium live event. So you could have picked, I don't know, I guess we wouldn't consider that a match, but the Cat taking off her top or Mae Young taking off her
No, that's considered a contest, right? Like not an actual match.
That was for the Cat and not Mae Young.
Yes. Was there any physical action in that match? Because they wouldn't consider a match, right? I mean, other than Jerry Lawler trying to go cover up or...
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go to Sexy Chino's number 5 pick. We each picked 5. Let's go to Sexy Chino's 5th all-time favorite SummerSlam match. SummerSlam? What the hell's going on with me? Hold on, let me push this in.
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
One of these days, I got to show a behind-the-scene thing because, I'm not a multitasker. I'm not. But I have a little podcast mixer here. I have a phone that I'm playing the clip on. I'm trying to look at the levels. I'm just making excuses, but... it's kind of hard to multitask. That's why I keep screwing up. But we're going to go to Sexy Chino's number 5 favorite Royal Rumble match of all time.
Here JR, and he's getting a title shot. Chris Benoit, all over 1 hour of hell.
This is not a WWE funded show, so we can talk about Chris Benoit. At his number 5 pick, you've got this is what year was this? 2000.
I believe 2004.
2004 Royal Rumble match that Chris Benoit won. Why is this your number 5 pick?
Overall, like, okay, so I know a lot of people don't think Chris Benoit, and I can understand why. But we were looking at the quality, because like they say, you don't trust the artist, trust the art, right? So
Yep.
the art is the wrestling. And the whole thing is like when you watch this match and you don't think about what he's done, you get lost in the match. You notice that how hard he worked to get there. They even said it was like over an hour. And like the last thing is like the dramatics of it is how he took out the Big Show. Yeah. And you saw Benoit's size, like 200 something pounds.
Yeah, I think he had him like in a front face lock, right?
Yeah, it's like, think about that. A 400 pounder, and you take him out at the end. That's
so you like it for the performance, the story that the match told.
Correct. You see, that's what I liked about it, because like it's not like who was in it more than the fact that it told a great story. Because if you think about it, we talked about the road to WrestleMania, right? And a lot of people know that that's WrestleMania 20 MSG, and the last thing you see when he beats in the triple threat with Michaels and Triple H at WrestleMania 20 is Benoit holding the title, and then Eddie Guerrero also coming in at the end, also having the WWE Championship, and they're hugging at the end because they know that was like their big moment, being really good friends, you know, going through the roads together, and that was the whole story, you know.
Yeah, I do remember seeing this back in the day, and what number did Benoit go in at? Like he was like pretty in the single digits, right?
Yeah, he was pretty close. Can't remember that. Yeah,
he wasn't. He probably wasn't number 1, or maybe he was, but he was like pretty down
early.
there.
Yeah.
He was one of the first ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this was like a really cool Royal Rumble match, and like you said, it was him. It was the David versus Goliath at the end. Like, oh man, there's no way he's gonna. He lasted this long, but now he has to take out the freaking biggest dude on the roster, the Big Show.
Yeah, that tells you a lot, because like, think about it. It's like over an hour in that ring wrestling, going through a lot of the superstars wrestlers, where you know, and then all of a sudden at the end you got the Big Show, who got a better number, had more air, you know. That had to show you like he was in great cardio condition, and then just to pull that off at the end, it just made the story great.
Yeah. Then he went on to, like we talked about, like it's the build up, right? The lead up to WrestleMania. So it led up to him finally winning the big one. I know he had won it in WCW, but it didn't seem like he cared because he quit the day after he won the title, I think, the world title, right, at WCW. But this one led up to him beating Triple H and Michaels at WrestleMania 20, right?
Yeah, you're right. But you know, here's the funny thing. I don't know if this might be an Easter egg. Some people might know this. When Benoit left, remember he was facing Psycho Sid, or you know, Sid Vicious. Remember the last thing when Benoit won is the fact that I think it was what's his name? Not Ole Anderson. Kevin Sullivan. I remember saying in a shoot interview, said that he told Sid, just put your foot outside the rope.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like an out of bounds thing, right? Which is very subtle, but it was a good way to like
to get a rematch,
to say that he really didn't beat me, because you know, and because Benoit was leaving anyways. So
it was like I wonder if he already knew that he might try to leave. I wonder, but why would they even? Why would
leave? Yeah,
but why would they even put the title on him at that point? But to me, it seemed like maybe that could have been like a excuse to have the rematch. Like, oh, you didn't really beat me. Let's have a rematch.
Yeah, but yeah, because they knew like because they had the issues, you know, and they were already planning on leaving.
Yeah.
So, but that was an out. I don't know if people remember that, but that was like a little thing I remember.
Yeah, but cool pick. I do remember, like, this was one I didn't rewatch and doing this ranking, preparing for this episode, but that I do remember. That's one of the ones that sticks out to me. Like, when I think about, like, this is an honorable mention. This is not in my top 5, but this is one that I remember. The ending especially was really cool for this match. So cool pick. That was a Chino's number 5 pick. I'm gonna go to my number 5 pick now.
He's down. Yokozuna's down. Savage with the elbow. Pinfalls don't count. Oh, there we go. He threw him out from the floor.
So at number 5, I've got the 1993 Royal Rumble match. Yokozuna winning. This took place. I still remember that this took place at the Arco Arena in Sacramento. Shout out to Ty Lord if he's listening or watching. But yeah, I think this might have been the first Royal Rumble I watched live, like on pay-per-view. That's why this one always sticks out to me, because I remember watching this live, and I remember, like, I think Macho Man got the number 30 pick. He drew number 30, and I remember being like pumped, like, yes, Macho Man's gonna win this. He's got this. He's going to WrestleMania, and then he, for some reason, tries to pin Yokozuna, and Yoko launches him off. Yokozuna wins, but still, I think it's a kind of an underrated Royal Rumble match. I feel. What do you think? What do you think about this '93 Royal Rumble match?
I think it was all Royal Rumbles. I think they got their points. You know, they got their moments, and like you said. And it's interesting because at the Arco Arena, wasn't that the debut of Giant Gonzalez?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was the other thing with this Rumble. I kind of like, it was kind of, I felt like this was the beginning of the new generation. Like, this was the new generation's Rumble. You know, like the year before, you had 92, you still had a lot of legends in there. You had Hulk Hogan, you had Macho, Piper, Flair. And in this one, you still had Macho, but Macho at this point wasn't really actively wrestling. He was kind of like more of a color commentator. Every now and then they'll throw him out there to wrestle Crush or Doink the Clown or something. But this was like the new generation guys, you know. You had a Backlund, but it felt like Backlund was just there to be like a competitor or kind of like, I don't know, help the young guys or something. Backlund, I think, went 45 minutes or 50 minutes in this one, I think.
Yeah, Backlund was there for a while, but I remember one of the reasons he was there for a while, I think he got slammed outside the ring, and a lot of people forgot him for a while.
Oh, what did he evade Giant Gonzalez because he got slammed outside?
I'm not sure if he did get.
Can you sell like Bob Backlund, by the way?
Can I sound like Bob Backlund?
Can you sell like him? Remember he would get like hit. He would go, whoa. Whoa. Every time he would get whoa. He was almost as funny as Lex Luger when he would sell.
You know what's you probably I think you probably said that about Backlund, right? Before in the past that
he has a big wedgie?
No. Well, that's what you would have hated. You know, but like Bob Backlund, I remember I forgot who told the story. It's like Backlund used to, if you asked him for his autograph, I think he told you like he asked you a question about like some sort of math or something like that.
I thought you told me that fact. That wasn't you?
I think it might have been me, but I don't know. Yeah. But I'm just rephrasing like, yeah, to get Backlund's autograph, I think back in the day you had to tell he asked you like a question or something like that, you had to get it right or not.
He would say, you Publian, you want my autograph? First tell me the first 10 U.S. presidents or some shit.
The first president of the United States, plus like what happened in the Civil War, you know, like, but no, it's like, it's interesting to know that, but yeah, like, and remember, like, this is before Bitter Bob, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is like when, this is Opie Bob, you know?
This is, yeah, Bobby Eaton would always call him
Opie, exactly. So like, this is, and that's why like, he had the hair before she shaved it,
yeah.
You know, but yeah, like, that's why like that Backlund, he like stood out for a while. And you also got to understand that in 93, That was like Ric Flair's last Royal Rumble too.
Oh yeah,
At the
he
time.
was in
At the
it,
time,
and
remember?
Perfect
Remember?
takes him out, and then
Yeah.
I think they have like the match next night, right? Like loser leaves WWF.
They have like the
And
at the Manhattan Center with Mr. Perfect versus Flair, and then like and they even have like that other commentator Bob. What was his name? Remember that guy Rob something?
Rob Bartlett,
Rob Bartlett.
yeah, the comedian
And
guy.
he's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I never seen this guy's." You know, like he's talking about the match. He's like,
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, Flair was still there, but this was his swan song for pay-per-views, pretty much. But it felt like, all right, this is the new guys now. We're gonna have like, who was in there? Yeah, you had Yoko winning it, pretty much like newcomer, and this was the first Royal Rumble that 92 you won the world title, but this was the first Royal Rumble where you went to WrestleMania.
"Yeah, you're right."
It was Yokozuna was the first one that they didn't have the WrestleMania sign for him to point at.
But hey, but if you know, if this is Coliseum exclusive, I believe it's like at the end, you see like before they put the copyrights, Yoko, I think he's having like like he's backstage taking pictures, and Bret Hart walks up to him and shows him the belt right there, and sets up the seats for WrestleMania.
Ah, yeah. So there he goes. Trivia. Yoko's the first one that went to WrestleMania. Straight out of Royal Rumble. So very cool. Before that, there were like really no stakes like that. I mean, like I said, 92, which might come up on the list. Might or might not come up on the list. That one had, you can say that the first time it had big stakes, but this was the first, 93 was the first one that you're going to WrestleMania if you win the Rumble. All right, let's go to Chino's number 4 pick. And funny enough, we are NSYNC, not the band NSYNC. We both selected this as our number 4 pick. So this is both of our number 4 picks.
That's very rare.
Yeah, here we go.
The WrestleMania. Unbelievable. Swinging it up. And Luger has spread out. And no. It's Luger. Luger threw Bret Hart out. No, I don't know. Discussion going on. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 1994 WWE Royal Rumble. The winners are Lex Luger and Bret Hitman.
So we both had at number 4 the 1994 Royal Rumble. First time there was no winner. Well, I guess there was 2 winners. It was a tie. It was Bret Hart and Lex Luger. I'll let you go first since technically it was your turn.
Okay, so basically, the reason I chose this is because, once again, I go story-wise and set things up. Because, like, you got Bret Hart, right? In this actual Royal Rumble, he teamed up with Owen.
Yep.
And they faced the Quebecers. And at the end, Owen kicked his leg because he kicked his leg. Or something.
He kicks his leg out of his leg.
He kicked his leg.
And that's why, Bret, I kicked your leg out of your leg. You're selfish.
So the reason, that's one of the main reasons, like, I chose, because like it told a great story. Like, you're like, oh shoot, is Bret gonna make it? It's because they even questioned, like, oh, his leg is hurt. Is he even gonna make the Royal Rumble? Because he was supposed to be part of the Royal Rumble. And then the Lex Luger thing is like, once he beat Yoko with the count-out victory, oh, you can't get another title shot. So he had to win the Royal Rumble too. So
Yeah.
it just,
It was like a
both-
loophole, right, for him to
Exactly.
get a shot.
Exactly. So it had 2 different stories going on at once. And you're like, oh, who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? And the drama was there. And then when they did that, and the way they set up the finish was like, what? And nobody saw that coming.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that coming. So that's what worked for that one.
I remember watching this one also like live on pay-per-view. And I always remember, you probably remember this. I always remember the magazine ad promoting this. It was like a drawing, and there was like a family watching the Royal Rumble, and like Doink is coming out of there, and Yokozuna. They're like coming out of the TV.
Yeah.
This is for this pay-per-view, right? And I always remember that ad. I don't know if it was for this pay-per-view or the 93 one, but I always remember that ad with like drawn on. I think Doink's about to throw like a bucket, and Yokozuna's in the background.
Yeah, I think that was 94 because like the other one, I think like you think 93 was like
Bread and Razor. Huh? Bread and Razor.
Like, yeah, because I think like, yeah, that was like, I could be correct, but I remember seeing that. Like that was promoting the pay-per-view.
Yeah, and the WWF magazine. Back when people like read magazines.
What's wrong with me? Like, you know what? It's funny how you like people don't see magazines for what they're worth, because like I collected like crazy. I still have a lot of my magazines, but like you could always go back and look at stuff that they don't even have on the internet.
You can read your Vic Venom.
Exactly.
Vic Venom, a little like a page. You could find out what Bret Hart's favorite band is, which I think I still remember. I think it was Pearl Jam, I think, or his favorite album, Pearl Jam's Vitology. Yeah, but I remember really liking this. I actually watched it this morning in preparation for this podcast, and I also really like how, I think we talked about like in Survivor Series, sometimes guys get built right there, right? Like Stone Cold going up against Bret at MSG. You saw debuting guys like Flash Funk and Rocky Maivia, who went on to become this little star called The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. But in this one, I think this was like I talked about. 93 was like, all right, the new generation's Rumble. There was still some hanger-ons, older guys like Flair and Macho. This, I feel like this one actually still had Macho, right? But this one was like mostly new guys. You had like the Men on a Mission were in there. Doink, the new Doink that nobody likes. You had Quang in there. You had Michaels in there, and Diesel. Talk about building Diesel. Diesel starts taking out everybody in the ring. I remember he throws out Quang. He throws out Owen Hart. He throws out both smoking guns. Then he beats the shit out of Virgil and throws his ass out. He's like cleaning house. And I remember watching that as a kid and being like, oh man, this Diesel guy is cool. I like this guy. And he was a bad guy. And he even starts getting like a chant. People start chanting Diesel, Diesel. Right? Yeah,
that's another reason I was going to comment about this, because it was about building somebody new, and Diesel was like very dominating, and like at the time you really didn't know who Diesel was, but after this, it's like it was a good build up to start. And if you think about it, it's 94, right?
Yeah.
And then think about what happened at the end of 94.
He's champion.
He becomes a champion, so it works out because he also became the IC champ too.
And they're kind of like putting they're putting the little seeds, because Michaels kind of helps throw out doesn't help Diesel not get thrown out, and he kind of, I think, helps push him out of the ring. Yeah, he doesn't want any part of Diesel in that match. But I remember watching it today. I'm like, oh man, this is cool. Like, this is how you build a monster. He's just kicking everyone's ass and throwing them out. And he's just like, I think that just that image of him standing in the ring and going like, bring on the next one. Bring on the next one. Everybody's like rooting for him, because it's not like he's doing any cheap shit. Like, he's just kicking everybody's ass and throwing them out. So how can you hate on that as a fan, right?
Yeah, you just can't hate on, because like, because if you're just watching somebody dominate, it's like,
that's why I wore this shirt right here.
Oh yeah,
Big Daddy Cool.
Yeah, like
Diesel,
everybody can
man.
see this. Yeah, well, we're talking.
Oh yeah,
it's like radio, right?
Yeah, well, this goes up on YouTube, so if you're on YouTube, you can see this. But
see it.
For the audio listeners, I'm wearing a vintage Big Daddy Cool Diesel Power T-shirt. This is why I wore this one, because back, when I'm a big Hulkamaniac, when Hogan left, I feel like I was looking for that next guy I could root for in the WWF, and for a while it was Big Daddy Cool Diesel. I was a big Diesel fan. So that we both had that at number 4. And I promise you, I did not plan this, Chino, but we also had the same number 3 pick. So let's go to our number 3 pick here. We're 2 for 2.
The undisputed champion of the World Wrestling Federation. Let me just say, after view distorting, the belt
to proclaim me the real world champion, I'm going to tell you all with a tear in my eye, this is the greatest moment in my life. When you walk around this world and you tell everybody you're number one, the only way you get to stay number one is to be number one. And this is the only title in the wrestling world that makes you number one. When you are the king of the WWE, you rule the world. Think about it like that, Mr. Perfect.
At number 3, we both had the 1992 Royal Rumble match. That, what you heard there, I don't think this guy needs any introduction, but we got the Nature Boy winning the whole thing and winning the WWF Championship. Tell us about why this is your number 3 pick.
Well, many people, I heard that they really liked the 92 Royal Rumble. Even some people say it was the best Royal Rumble. It was star-studded. It was like a lot of stars in it at the time. And you also got to understand, like you had the stories going on. You know, it's like you had the newcomers like Sid, Justice,
Yep.
Savage, and you had Jake the Snake Roberts. You had Roddy Piper. You had so many guys, and you had Shawn Michaels, like a young Shawn Michaels there too. I mean, 92 was very well done. You know, it's like, and to have Flair be number 3.
Was he number 3? Oh, he was number 3.
He was number 3.
Because who started was Bulldog and DiBiase, right?
Yeah.
Bulldog and DiBiase.
Yeah. But like overall, man, it's like Flair worked so hard in that Rumble. And then, and I will, like everybody else, and I'm pretty sure this Royal Rumble was not made. It was actually made because of Bobby Heenan's commentating.
I'm glad you brought that up.
That is one of the main reasons. Because like you see him saying Piper, he's like, oh, he's not. Piper starts helping Flair. Oh my God, it's a kill. It's not a skirt. Then
Every time Piper would help, right?
Exactly. And then Piper hits him like, oh no, it's a skirt. You know,
it's a skirt.
Like, I mean, Bobby Heenan made that match more than it should have been.
Yeah.
I mean, think about like the way the commentary was done, and you have Bobby Heenan just going crazy. This is what's missing sometimes about wrestling: emotions. If you have no emotions in this business, it doesn't feel realistic.
Yeah,
and that's what you want. You want things to feel realistic because it's emotionally comes out of you. It's like, oh man, people feel that, you know. It's like Heenan was all over thinking, oh my God, because he knew he wanted Flair to win so badly, and that's why he like said, oh Piper, you know, please help me, you know, like, oh, and it's just great, you know. And like Flair, and then like, oh, Heenan just going crazy, and Flair just running around, and the funny thing about this is the fact that it was Sid who eliminated Hogan, right? And then like, oh, and at the actual, if you see the actual one, not the one they do for WWE or WWF, you know, that they actually they changed the crowd because the crowd was cheering when Hogan got eliminated. But when you actually see it on the TV or whatever, they edit it so the crowd Sid. Even though you think about it, it's like Sid just eliminated Hogan, and Hogan tried to eliminate Sid from the outside.
Yep.
Doesn't make Hogan look good, but like they want always to make Hogan look like the biggest good guy, you know. So that's what they did.
Yeah, it kind of pains me. I didn't even want to put this on my list, I'm being honest, because of all the reasons you said. As a kid, this is when I was like when I first got really, really, really into wrestling, going back and renting all the VHS tapes, Coliseum videos. And I became a fan over that summer of 91. So, you know, Royal Rumble's coming up. I was hyped. I didn't get to watch this pay-per-view live. I think I might have rented it or someone taped it like I got a tape somehow. But I remember like being like crushed. I'm glad I didn't watch this live on pay-per-view because I feel like I would have been crushed. Because, you know, before that, Hogan always won. Hogan won the previous 2 years. Hogan's got a pose like Bruce Pritchard says. Like he didn't really lose that often, right? So I feel like I wouldn't have been able to handle it as a little. How old was I then? A little like 10-year-old Tiburon watching my idol lose and then looking like a bitch. He kind of looked like a whiny bitch. Like I kind of like looked back at it and I was like, man, that was like some bad booking. Like have Hogan, like first of all, get thrown out. Like whatever, he gets thrown out, but they made him like he was whining about it, and then he like, well, like I lost, so I'm gonna pull you out. That made him look so bad. Like I wonder why they did that. Like they should have. If I would have, been backstage, if I would have been a booker at 10 years old in the WWF, they should have like, okay, he throws out Hogan, Sid throws him out, right? And then Hogan be like, all right, you got me. Like, all right, you got me, whatever. And then maybe Sid starts trash talking Hogan and won't like stop trash talking him, and then Flair throws him out, right?
Yeah,
that would have been better than him like, oh no, you threw me out, so I'm gonna throw you out too.
You know what they like, the right booking decision or whatever, that the right way. If you want to do it storyline wise, the right way would have done it. The way to book it is turn it. So basically, Hogan throws out Sid. Sid doesn't like it, and then and then Flair, and then Hogan gets distracted by Sid. Sid grabs him,
grabs his arm,
yeah. And then Flair pulls over, and then it does make Hogan look like the ultimate baby face.
Yeah, instead of making him look like a whiny little bitch, because he looked like a whine. So and I didn't want to put even like I think it's still the little child in me. It was still stinging, but now like now that I'm I'm in my 40s, I'm like, nah, this was kind of like Flair, the Flair show. Like he put on a performance and. Flair, back when I was a kid at this time, I hated Ric Flair. But now, as growing up and understanding wrestling and, just admiring his work, man, that guy, you can't hate Ric Flair, man. That guy always put on a show. And he puts on like a masterclass right here in this match. And like you said, Bobby the Brain, man. That guy made the match like, they say the commentators add like the music to the match maybe. Or the some of the music to it. I was like, man, he made this match so much better when he's like, you could tell he's like pissed at first when Flair is number 3, and Gorilla's like, no, well that's it, that's your meal ticket. No competitor has ever drawn 1 through 5 and been there at the end. And then like Bobby just stays quiet, and Gorilla's like, did you hear me? He's like, what? No competitor 1 through 5 has ever been there at the. Oh, shut up! He starts getting all. Bobby Heenan just made the match like hilarious, and also Monsoon, because Monsoon keeps like digging at him like he's not gonna make it, and Bobby Heenan's like losing his mind. Gorilla's tell him, sit down, will you sit down? And Bobby Heenan like begging, come on, please help, I'll do anything, please, I promise.
Yeah, those are classic moments. But here's another thing that could have done it because of Hogan, right? Think about it. Hogan was going to take a break coming up after WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. So maybe they thought about it that way too. Let's just have Hogan go out that way. But that could have been another reason.
I feel like Sid should have just thrown him out like that, like ambush, and Hogan look at him like you, like maybe like mad, but like, hey, whatever, it's Royal Rumble. Every man for themselves, and then just walk away, and then maybe Sid still trash talking him, and maybe Hogan could be like, hey man, focus on winning it, like you threw me out, like whatever.
And then Flair throws him out like this. Flair throws him out. Because remember,
then have Hogan and Sid get into it.
Yeah, because you said, because remember the way that Sid turned on Hogan was a Saturday Night's Main Event on Fox. Yeah. And then we're in a tag match, remember?
Yeah, and he left Hogan hanging, right?
He left Hogan turn. That was like their big thing. So that would have made like, I guess that's where they want to go with it, but they could have done that at the Royal Rumble,
Yeah, but still, man, this is one you got to watch. A lot of people, like you said, consider this to be the best Royal Rumble match ever, and I can't. Like the stakes were the highest. I mean, up to that point, I think they've done the world title thing again in more modern times, but the stakes couldn't be higher. Like, you were going to be the world champion if you won. Virgil could have been.
Virgil was there, exactly.
Hercules could have won it. Paul Roma.
Hey, Haku was there. The Texas Tornado Kerry Von Erich was there.
One of the nasty boys could have been world champion.
You talk about like
the Berserker. Was the Berserker in this one? He was in this one.
Yeah, but like you said, it's like in '92 Royal Rumble without Bobby Heenan would not have been as classic of a match or entertaining as it was without Bobby Heenan. So all the cards came into play. Everything worked out great. But like I said, look at the star power they had. And that's what that's why people look at it that way.
Probably half the Rumble participants were probably Hall of Famers. I haven't looked into it, but I'm sure at least half of them are Hall of Famers. And one of the other little moments I love in this match is when I think Piper comes in, right? And Flair's like, oh no, he has that look on his face like Piper's coming in, and he puts him in the sleeper. And then Jake comes in, and Jake just chills in the corner like, have at it. Like, and Piper's like thinking he's gonna get like ambushed, and Jake's like, hey, have at it. And I was like, man, that was so smart that he's like, you fight.
You go
like,
fight.
Like, we still got a lot of people to wrestle. But then, of course, he's a snake. You can't trust the snake, Sexy Chino. He ends up, I think, ambushing him anyways. Yeah, so that was a cool pick at number 3. And guess what? At number 2, I'm just kidding. We don't have the same pick. So we're going to go.
I totally doubt it.
But we have 2. We had 2 right in the middle. We had two of the same picks. But now we're going to Sexy Chino's number 2 pick. Favorite Royal Rumble match of all time.
High stakes, high pressure. Asuka and Nikki Bella, both on the apron, both have gone over the top rope. Asuka forward. Asuka eliminates Nikki Bella. Asuka's going to WrestleMania.
Unbelievable.
At number 2, Sexy Chino has the 2018 Women's Royal Rumble. We're all about equal rights here on the Retrowave podcast. Sexy Chino, you got this as number 2. Why specifically the 2018 Royal Rumble? Women's Royal Rumble.
Women's, exactly. Think about it, that was the first Women's Royal Rumble. So it made a statement about that Royal Rumble in general. And the way that the cards were going and Asuka was like so undefeated. Think about that. And so you're like, is she going to win? Like, she had the best chance. And like, people want her to win too. That's another thing. So it worked out great, and it showed like it gave a lot of chance to the women to come out and do the Royal Rumble thing, because like they never really got a chance to do that. They just got thrown in battle royals, but no, overall like this, it was a statement for the women's division, you know. Even though like it's like, but that was like. When Asuka won, I thought that was great because like she was undefeated. She felt like the threat, you know, for sure. She felt like the threat and legit. Now, so that's what I went. Oh my god! When I saw that, I was like, dude, this is awesome.
It was a good. I don't have this on my list, but this is one of my honorable mentions. I do remember I might have liked this one more than the men's Royal Rumble match. I think because it had like. You know, we talk about surprises and returning people. And I remember, like, getting hyped, like, seeing Lita. Like, Lita, I was like, oh, Lita. And she comes out. And I think Trish Stratus came back. Who else was there? We had, like, I'm not a big Michelle McCool fan, but she even came out. Michelle McCool. Who else was in there? Like, throwbacks.
Mickey James, she was
still wrestling, right?
Yeah. She was still with the roster at that time. I think Kelly showed up in that one.
Yeah. Holla. But I just remember like being pumped when like, Lita's in the Royal Rumble. And I think she even hits like a really scary looking moonsault. Is this the one where she throws like, it almost looks like she's going to land on her head?
Yeah, I think that's this. Because like, I think she was doing the moonsault on two girls.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember. But I remember like when Trish came out, like people were like, oh, because like, remember Sasha Banks was in this one. And then they had like Sasha looking eye to eye to Trish.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a cool one. I remember going into it, like not expecting much. And I was like, man, these girls, I think this one was better than the guys one. I don't know. At least when I remember seeing it at that time, I was like, man, this was a good Royal Rumble match. Yeah, but cool pick. And then doesn't Asuka end up losing in WrestleMania to Charlotte?
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't believe it. I thought they really had it going, and they took it away.
You think they butchered the booking there?
I mean, think about it. She would have won the title being undefeated. Then when she would have lost the title, I think it would have meant a lot more, but I'm not the booker, so. But yeah, they wanted to go a different direction.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. All right, well, I'm gonna go to my number 2 pick. This is gonna be. I don't think you're gonna expect this match as my number 2 favorite Royal Rumble match of all time. It is the only match on our list that is not a Royal Rumble match. It's not a 30-man Royal Rumble match. This is my number 2 pick.
And now, the reverse figure 4. He's got it. Now the pressure's on Valentine. You can see Valentine say no. Yeah, he said yes. Valentine said yes. Let's get the official winner of the submission match, Rugged Roddy Garvin.
I see a look of shock in Sexy Chino's face. And at number 2, I've got the submission match 1990 Royal Rumble. Rugged Ronnie Garvin versus Greg the Hammer Valentine. I remember liking this match as a kid, like renting the VHS and liking it as a kid, but not really knowing who the hell Rugged Ronnie Garvin was. I just liked the match. This might have been like one of the only ever Ronnie Garvin matches I've watched. I've never watched WCW. I think he wrestled at NWA, right? I never watched any of that. So this might be like one of 2 matches I've ever seen Ronnie Garvin in. But I don't know why this match stuck with me as a kid. I just thought it was a really cool match. And going back to watching it in the last couple of weeks, I still thought it was really good. Like, I thought it was a really fun match. And I kind of really like how simple it was, too. Like, the match was pretty much based around their little like leg contraptions they would wear. Like Hammer had, was his called the Hammer Jammer, or was it the Heartbreaker?
Heartbreaker, and and then Garvin was the Hammer Jammer.
Yeah, so they both wore like these braces, and essentially like the Heartbreaker that Valentine wore would make he would turn it around, right?
Yeah.
And when he applied the figure 4, it would make it a lot more painful. But storyline wise, I'm guessing he would say, oh, I need it because my leg's messed up, so I need to wear it. But he would use it to his advantage as a heel would, right?
Yeah, correct.
And then Ronnie Garvin, he had the Hammer Jammer, which he would turn, it would stop the pressure of the figure 4, right? So I like how, sounds kind of dumb when you think about it, but I liked how simple it was, and the people ate it up. Like, people ate it up in the match, and I think at some point they take off Garvin's the Hammer Jammer, so when he puts the figure 4, he's feeling it for reals, and I love it. And at the end, you see probably the first time anyone applied a sharpshooter. I don't know what they called it there, a reverse figure 4. I think Shivani, one of the few times you hear Shivani on WWF, on a WWF product, but he calls it, I think, a reverse figure 4. He applies the sharpshooter on Valentine, has him give up, and I like kind of how he how he uses the move. Like, he applies it, and then he's doing this thing where he's kind of like cranking it, like he's cranking the sharpshooter. Yeah. Any thoughts on this match? Are you shocked?
I'm shocked. I'm legit shocked. But but you know what? A lot of people forgot that if you think about this match, was like one of the most shooty matches they had, because they keep chopping each other really, really hard and things like that. You know, it's like you said, it's an old school style kind of match, and it's like, and you got to understand that this got built. It was built built. Because like I think it was like Valentine that retired Rugged Ronnie Garvin, and like the year before, and like so they had Garvin coming back as he came back as a referee, and then all of a sudden like he got taken out of that role because Valentine did some script work or whatever. So they said they put the lawyers, if I remember correct. So then Garvin even did a SummerSlam. He became the ring announcer.
So he just kept changing different roles. I don't remember
At the time, yeah, because like Valentine. So they finally reinstated Garvin instead of for that match, and then he started wearing the Hammer Jammer, you know. But like it did build. This was a built match, and it came to an end with the submission match. But yeah, it's like Garvin didn't get much, and because over there in the WWF at the time, there was a lot bigger stars. But you forgot that Garvin was the former NWA World Champion.
So he was a big deal over there.
He was a big deal over there.
I know they called him like Hands of Stone.
Yeah, Hands of Stone, but
Rugged
Ronnie
Garvin.
Yeah, you get rubbish Garvin. That's rubbish Garvin.
But what do you think?
Ronnie Garvin, you know.
What do you think about the way he applied the sharpshooter? How come nobody does it like that? Like he would crank it. He would do these little cranks.
Yeah, the funny thing about if I remember how he did the sharpshooter, at that time he did it really slow too.
Yeah, he had like a different way of like stepping into it too.
Yeah, exactly. He did it really slow. But yeah, he cranked it. He cranked it more than like Brett. Brett holds it like this. He was going back and forth with it, you know, trying to make the move seem more devastating. But so I think that's one of the reasons. But yeah, people forgot that Garvin was using the sharpshooter before it was called the sharpshooter.
I think like I said, Shivani was calling it. Oh, he applied the reverse figure four or something like that.
Yeah, when I heard reverse figure four, I was thinking, what the? Also, he's somebody reverse Valentine's move, but like and then. Like so, yeah, like reverse figure four.
Yeah, I'm also not like a big Hammer fan. Like I'm not a big guy. Like I remember the Hammer a lot more than Rugged Ronnie Garvin, but I don't remember like any match standing out for me with Greg the Hammer Valentine in it. But this one, so this is my favorite Valentine match and favorite Garvin match. Maybe they were just meant to have this match together because, like you said, there's two stiff guys. They look like they're kind of like chiseled out of the same like prototype. Like they're both stocky, very like stocky wrestlers, very stiff. You know, it doesn't look like they're like really throwing any like weak punches in there or chops.
No, definitely not the chops. If you look at their chest afterwards, because they were known for like chops. Garvin used to do the Big Show kind of chops, and Valentine used the knife edge chops, Ric Flair chops.
Who would you rather, on a very cold winter day, who would you rather take a chop from? Greg the Hammer Valentine or Rugged Ronnie Garvin?
You keep changing their names. Kind of confused.
Greg the Valentine Hammer,
Greg the Hammer,
or Rubbish Ronnie Garvin. Who would you rather take a chop from?
Who would I rather take a chop from?
On a very cold day.
Very cold day.
I'm woken up at 5 a.m. All right, we're gonna go outside. You're gonna take a chop. Who would you rather take a chop from?
I heard like Garvin's pretty snug, so I'll take Valentine.
You hear that, Valentine? Your chops are weak. So if you ever see Sexy Chino at a convention, you just try him. He's ready for you. All right. So that was my number 2 pick. Like I said, the only match that wasn't an over the top rope elimination. But I had to throw it in there because when I watched it in the last couple of weeks, I was like, man, this match is even more fun than I remember. It's just very simple. I think Valentine puts the figure 4 on Garvin at some point, but Garvin has the hammer jammer in place. So he does like this little thing, like making fun of Valentine, like, oh, you can't hurt me because my hammer jammer is in the way.
And what do you think? It's like the hammer jammer. So it's jamming the hammer's move. You know, the hammer jammer. So
The hammer jammer can also is also a name for something else, but we won't get into that right now.
only you.
All right. Let's go to Sexy Chino. This is your number one favorite, all-time favorite Royal Rumble match. Here we go. Let's go to Chino's number one.
Depends on it. Hit him over there. Push. Roman Reigns trying to power Shinsuke over the top. Reigns. Oh, no. Shinsuke caught him right in the face. Oh, no. No, Roman. And now Shinsuke goes. Shinsuke Nakamura is going to WrestleMania. I called it. Here is your winner of the Royal Rumble match.
At number one, I'm sensing a trend here with these last two picks. Asuka, Japanese. Shinsuke Nakamura, Japanese. Sexy Chino, half Japanese. At number one, Sexy Chino, you've got the men's Royal Rumble from 2018. Tell us about this pick.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. It's like Nakamura was coming hot, all right? And at the end, he was like facing Roman Reigns, the guy that people did not want. So they're like, oh, they're going to give it to Reigns is going to take it again. But Nakamura got it, oh, man, because the crowd actually wanted that.
They flipped the script.
So they flipped the script, whichever you want to call it. But it was a good Rumble just on that story itself. And it had a lot of good participants in it. But overall, that's what I went with it because I like the story. I might be a little biased because Nakamura's my friend too, but but I really like the way they said it. It's like everybody, Roman again, and Nakamura taking it.
Had Roman won it the year before? Probably, yeah.
Yeah, because remember that one time Roman won it, and then the crowd just lost it.
They booed it when
booed
when
him,
The Rock came out.
And then The Rock came out, and they still booed him even with The Rock out there.
Yeah.
So that tells you, because the crowd, like at the time, they wanted Bryan Danielson or Daniel Bryan, you know?
Yeah.
Because they even booed Rey Mysterio, I believe, that day.
I think he was a number 30 pick.
They actually thought, even because that, wasn't that the one time, like, Bryan Danielson or Daniel Bryan was facing Bray Wyatt?
Oh, yeah, and he didn't even participate in the Rumble, right? Was that the one? Because the crowd thought, Daniel Bryan's going to come out and win. And it was Ray. So Ray had to face the wrath of the very angry crowd.
A very angry crowd, exactly. So, like, that's another thing. So they were like, Roman's going to take another one, you know? And then all of a sudden, Nakamura's like, and the crowd was like, yeah, you know, it's like, but like, they're like, they weren't sure, right? And that's what's good about if you do it right, the business that way. You think you know what's going to happen. You want it to happen. But you know there's a chance how this company has worked in the past that it's not going to happen that way. So
cough, Vince McMahon.
So like you don't know that that what you really want to happen will happen because you know how this like the company's gone before. So right. It's like when Nakamura won, even the little clip you had, you heard the crowd because they're like, "Oh, this is awesome!" You know. Not Roman Reigns is going to WrestleMania. Somebody else is going to WrestleMania, you know? And, like, Nakamura was hot. That's when he was really hot. Just like Asuka, you know? And it just made sense, you know? People wanted something different.
So, I just realized that. 2 Japanese wrestlers won.
Exactly. 2 Japanese wrestlers won. And that was, like, a big deal. You know, it's like,
what are the odds of that ever happening again?
Very bad, unfortunately, it feels like. I hope it will. I mean, it feels like the company's going a different direction. So maybe more like Hispanics or Japanese.
Yeah.
Or other people might get more shots. But, yeah, man, like at that time, it was hard. Because look back at the other Royal Rumbles. You know, how many Japanese wrestlers in general won the Royal Rumbles back in the day?
What other Japanese wrestlers were in? Like
Tenryu? You don't count Tenryu?
Tenryu,
you don't count
Kabuki?
The great Kabuki?
Taka Michinoku?
Yoshitatsu? Oh, no, that was afterwards, right?
Taka Michinoku, is he Japanese? He is, right?
Taka.
Dick Pogo, or what was his name?
Dick Togo.
Or Dick to Go, or what was his name?
Funaki, you know?
Dick to Go?
That's so good.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, just that's what I think made number one because the story, the crowd really wanted Nakamura to win it, but
Yeah.
they were thinking, man, they're just gonna let it happen again.
Here we go again. Roman Reigns.
Exactly.
Who's he gonna beat now?
Really.
WrestleMania.
Is it? Yeah, but like
Yeah.
it was the time, and like it's about timing in this business, and I mean, if you can get the crowd to not know what's gonna happen, even though they want it to happen, you're doing pretty good.
And then Nakamura, didn't he wrestle AJ Styles?
Yeah,
And then he lost.
yeah, that's another thing.
He
Like,
also lost
I was like, what? But that's what they wanted to do. So like, I thought they had all the momentum, just like Asuka. I thought she had all the momentum. Like Nakamura had all that momentum, but it wasn't meant to be at the time. So
Hey,
to
at least you can, go back and watch this Rumble and just watch, just enjoy that. The promise of, they won the Rumble. You can't take that away. So at least they had that.
No, you can't take that away. But if you do watch this, see the crowd's reaction on both Royal Rumbles when they win. Because remember, it was Nakamura taking out Roman Reigns, right? And who was the last participant that Asuka took out?
It was one of the Bellas, right?
Exactly, Nikki Bella.
Nikki
And
Bella.
that's when they felt like Nikki Bella was like the one to try to
She
get
was
them.
like the golden child, right?
Exactly.
Because of that E show.
Yeah, it's like, so they felt like that. So that's what you think. The company wants this, but the crowd's looking for something else. But at that time, the crowd got something they wanted, but they actually got something they wanted without not getting without just giving it away. So it was like a toss up at the time,
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like it surprised the crowd, so he did that job. It made them happy, but they still had that question: like, are they gonna give it to Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
Are they gonna give it to Nikki Bella? It's like,
Yeah.
so that worked out. So
That was a
that's-
good curveball that
Exactly.
they threw.
So
They're like,
that's
oh, great, here we go. But nope.
Yep. So that's what I went with it. I like the story. The first time two Japanese wrestlers got to win the Royal Rumble. I mean, to me, that was just greatness.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool pick. Now I'm going to go to my number one all-time favorite Royal Rumble match. Here we go.
Hogan, Texas Tornado Carolina, the Warlord, Shane Douglas, Mr. Perfect, Bush Bushwhacker, Superfly, the Model Rick Martel, Demolition Smash.
I bet you can tell which Rumble this is just by the names that were announced. Tell me, what's my all-time favorite Royal Rumble match?
1991.
1991. That's goddamn right. And I'll tell you why. Because the guy right here, he won the whole thing, the Hulkster.
Yeah, I love the fact that you pointed,
Yeah.
but nobody can see if
That's
they're
true.
hearing.
I keep forgetting about my audio listeners.
Yeah.
It's listeners. For my audio listeners, I just pointed to the shrine
The shrine behind us,
that I have to the immortal Hulk Hogan. This is my favorite one because I feel like this is the Rumble that I watch the most. Like, just rented the hell out of this, wore the hell out of this tape. For the audio listeners, I actually own the VHS tape. Probably one of the coolest box art right here. For the audio listeners, I'm showing the VHS box art for the Royal Rumble 1991. Tell me this isn't one of the coolest box art right here.
Yeah, it is.
Goddamn
but
sexy
they
Chino.
also made one for 93. Am I correct?
Now, give
The
us
one
a
with-
shit about that one. This is the one we care about. You're talking about 1992, right?
Yeah,
that has flair, I think.
1992, my brother.
Yeah, but this one right here, and I think they recreated it for like a modern one,
Yeah,
right?
they did.
And then like
yeah,
early
exactly.
2000s, I think had one too.
Yeah, but this is like a really cool cover if you look at it. The artwork is greatness.
This is the OG, man, the OG. But I love this one. Like I said, I'm a big Hulkamaniac, so I still remember watching this and being super pumped when Hogan, I think Hogan would always come in at like number 23 or 24. That was like Hogan's spot, I think, like 23, 24. But he had won it the year before, but I don't know. This one stands out to me more than the 1991. I don't know. I just love it. I love like the people that were in there. I love Rick the Model Martel was in there for like what 45 minutes or 50 minutes. He's putting on a show. I think he even gets like his tooth chipped or something. Huh? It looks like someone chipped his tooth or something in the match. You have him in there. Greg the Hammer Valentine's in there. I think a good well too. This also, the reason I love it a lot too, it reminds me a lot of like WrestleFest. I feel like WrestleFest was based off of this pay-per-view. WrestleFest, for the audio listeners right here, I got a jacket behind Sexy Chino's head, WrestleFest, but I feel like the competitors in there were like the inspiration was this time, this Rumble. You had, Perfect, the Demolition with Crushing It. You had a Sergeant Slaughter. You had Ted DiBiase, the Warrior Hogan. But I just love it. One of my favorite parts is when Hogan, even the buzzer sounds, even before he walks to the curtain. I don't know if you remember this. There's a kid that I think where he's sitting, he's able to see behind the curtain, right? You know what part I'm talking about?
I know exactly what part.
And then what does the kid say?
It's Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, it's Hulk Hogan. And then all the kids, like everybody, like erupts before he even walks through the crowd. But even like when I watch that now, it still like gives me goosebumps. I'm almost like living vicariously through that kid. I would imagine like me being at that show and seeing Hulk Hogan, like, oh shit, it's Hulk Hogan, and you just hear like the crowd erupt, and he comes down to the ring, and I think Piper's on color. Even he says, and now we've got the Royal Rumble, and Hogan comes in there, and like I think like all the bad guys jump on him and try to kick his ass, like Perfect and Smash and Martel, and man, just love it. I could watch this any day of the week. I could watch this during breakfast, lunch, dinner, whenever. I love this. This is my favorite Royal Rumble match of all time. What says you about this match?
Yeah, it's like, this is a really good Rumble too. And you know what's funny? Like, so you took it, this is 91, right? Going to WrestleMania 7, correct?
Yep.
I actually thought Tugboat was going to win it.
Pendejo. Pendejo.
Why did you think Tugboat was going to win?
I don't know. I just like, oh, shoot. I really thought Tugboat was going to win this one. I don't know why.
Because he was number 30, wasn't he?
He was pretty late on the thing. Yeah, it's like, because like, remember, this is the one that Warrior loses the title to Slaughter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because of Savage.
Yep.
So later on, you see somebody coming out and going back in the curtain. So it was Savage. And
did they actually show that?
Yes.
That he was going to come out and then he didn't come out?
Yeah, he's like, you see an image, see something floating, and get pulled out.
So that always confused me because I remember that was number 18. But like, did he just not come out because he's like, oh, I don't want Warrior looking for me? Like,
no,
he
I
left
think
the
Warrior
building?
got him.
Was that the story?
I think that's the story.
They just didn't show it well enough?
No, not well enough. Nah, you have to look at it. But yeah, it's just like, I remember seeing that. I was like, what? So, and another thing about this pay-per-view, because I actually ordered it, it's like, I got cut off.
What?
I got cut off before I got to see the winner.
Whoa, what the hell? Because it went it hit the mark?
No, I think it just got cut off at least of my cable company. And I remember, I didn't get to see like Tugboat even come in. I'm like, oh shoot, who what? And like I remember like calling the cable company, oh yeah, you guys cut me off, and like, okay, we'll give it to you for like 50% off or something. But
they gave it to you for 50% off, even like the whole thing, what you had paid for.
Yeah, I already had paid for it, but like the whole thing is like I didn't get to finish. It's like, oh, we'll give it to you like they gave me like at least 50% off or something like that. But like, yeah, I really thought Tugboat was gonna win. I'll be that, but like, because I didn't see Tugboat coming in, but like. And then what we had to do, because like we like to tape our pay-per-views back in the day, and when we had the VHS, that's a no school thing, and we were taping it, right? And so we wanted to get the whole thing, so we actually waited until it finally came on Coliseum Video, the one you have.
Yeah, this one right here.
And we had to go rent it, and then we finally got to tape the last part of it.
Could you even buy this, like this VHS tape?
Yeah, you could. It was like almost $50, I believe. Because I remember I wanted to just buy one time, and I bought like the World Tour, the one with the Warrior on the cover, going like this. I think it was like a triple threat match. I forgot exactly.
They had triple threat matches back then?
No, like it was like Warrior and Hogan versus somebody or something like that. But I know Warrior was in the cover. I think it has the match with Jim Diablo Neidhart versus the Warlord.
I don't know if I have that one. I have a World Tour.
It's a World Tour. It's like it has the Warrior going like this.
I may not fall. Not this one?
Not that one. That's the first one. So I remember buying that. I didn't know it's suckers expensive.
This one right here?
Yes. So I remember buying World Tour 1991. Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior.
The YouTubers. For the audio listeners, we're looking at VHS tapes here.
VHS.
1991's World Tour.
Exactly, 1991.
So what about that one? That one had a...
So it had like the match with Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior versus Sergeant Slaughter, General Agnew, and The Undertaker.
Oh, it was like a 2 versus 3?
Yeah. And then the fun, like a lot of matches were from like other places. Because you got matches from like London. So you had the Rockers versus the Orient Express as a tag match. You also had match from Tokyo. You had Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus Kendo Nagasaki. From London, you had Jim Diablo Neidhart versus the Warlord. I remember that match a lot because that match from London, Jim Diablo Neidhart and the Warlord. I remember like Warlord hooking a bear hug on Neidhart, and Neidhart actually climbing the Warlord and turning into
Sunset
flip.
That's crazy.
So that much weight, he started climbing. I'm like, oh shoot! And I saw that, and I have actually used that in some of my matches.
So you stole it from the Neidhart.
Yeah, from the Neidhart. Actually, from Neidhart, yes.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I remember buying this World Tour 1991, and it was pretty expensive. So you're getting this now for cheap, as much as it is. It's a big deal because I remember buying it straight. I had to cut my magazine, which I hated. Just to,
like proof of purchase?
No, you had to, because you had to
like
send
a mail-in.
Like a mail-in. You had to send to get this.
That's crazy. I know.
So
you could have just bought it on Mercari like I did.
Oh yeah, like back in the night before like 91. I went straight to with no internet, right? Sure, let me go find Mercari. So you want me to go back in time and tell myself, oh yeah, you can buy it on Mercari.
Well, those were our lists. So
yeah.
What are some of your honorable mentions that didn't crack the top 5?
My honorable mentions, I believe I have. Let me see. I think 97, I believe. I have 97.
97, was that one San Antonio or no? Or
Okay,
was that?
Yeah, I have 97. And one of the main reasons I like that one is because the Stone Cold Steve Austin actually stealing the victory from Bret Hart.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Remember that one had a lot of luchadors.
And it's funny because like you talk about the Diesel being the guy that dominated that Rumble, right? It was Austin who dominated this.
They stole. That always bugged me. They just copied the same formula from Diesel and put it on Stone Cold.
Yeah, but like a lot of people wanted Austin.
Hey, Mil Mascaras, your boy, was in that match too.
That's questionable, but yeah, yeah, he was there. And you know what? He eliminated himself
because he didn't want to get eliminated.
Because he didn't want to get eliminated. So he actually went to the top rope and eliminated himself. I think he flew on P-Rock. But
he flew on the Rock. The Rock was it?
P-Rock.
Oh, okay, Pierrot.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So my honorable mentions are like, and I also had like 2020.
2020. Who was that one?
That's I believe that's the one that Drew won.
Okay, Drew man. Oh yeah. I remember that was a cool one. I think he takes out at Lesnar, right?
Yeah.
With the what's it called? The C4 or what does he call it? That kick he does.
That Claymore kick.
There you go, that Claymore. C4, same thing. It's an explosive thing. Any other?
I think he got him like earlier on, but yeah. But I also did one more. Just the one that just this year, 2023. The one with Cody Rhodes.
Oh, that's the one Cody wins.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That was
a good one.
That was a good one because like it felt like who could you give it to, and it also set up like that's the cool thing about the Royal Rumble. Sometimes they set up matches, so I set up the one with Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, that's right. Right.
It set it up, and one of the big deals about those kinds of matches is like it's cool because like it shows that the Rumble could actually set up things that don't have to deal with the title.
It could set up other matches.
Other matches that you don't expect. But yeah, that's why I went with those honorable mentions. Because I appreciate those kind of like I'm a guy that appreciates stories. Make me emotional, make me want to watch, make me want to see what's going on. Because when you plant the seeds, you want to see.
You want to finish the story.
You want to finish the story.
Like Cody wrote that.
Well, Cody hopefully will finish the story in 2024.
Yep.
Or is there going to be a new story? Because remember,
CM
Punk's story hasn't finished either.
That's your theory. CM Punk's going to win it.
You want to? You want a prediction? Okay, I'll give you predictions. I think CM Punk's going to win the Royal Rumble.
And who's winning the women's?
And I think Bayley will win the Royal Rumble in 2024. That's just my predictions.
There you go. Take it to the bank. Take it to Vegas. And if you lose money or your house, come back here. I'll give you Sexy Chino's address so you can go talk to him. All right, honorable mentions for me. I had the Rockers versus the Orient Express from '91. I like that match. Fun match. I got Edge versus Rey Mysterio. I didn't have time to look up what year that was, but I think you know which one it is. It's like Mysterio does a springboard and Edge catches him out of midair with a spear.
Yeah, I know. That's the first time I think they went to HD, right?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think that was the first time they went to HD because the first match, I think, if I'm correct, is Ric Flair versus MVP.
Oh, I don't remember. I just remember thinking that match was cool with Rey Mysterio and Edge.
Am I wrong?
I have Orton versus Hardy, Jeff Hardy. I just really like that reversal at the end when Orton like turns the twist of fate into the RKO. Really, really fun match. I had Hardys versus the Dudleys, the tables match. I think that was Rumble 2000, right? 2000.
Yeah, 2000.
And I had also from that pay-per-view, Triple H versus Cactus Jack. I felt like that was like the first time I thought the regular matches were better than the Rumble because I don't remember thinking that Rumble was very good.
Isn't that the Rumble that they tried to put like The Rock and Big Show at the same time? We know like it set up like Big Show keep coming up with the evidence. Bring me the evidence, and he brought back pictures.
Yeah.
Or he said, "Look, the referee saw it." And, and then he finally saw the footage.
Yeah.
So he finally then because remember it was like McMahon Helmsley error.
Yeah.
So that set that up, but yeah. So that's what I think about that Royal Rumble.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was it. But Sexy Chino, it's tradition around here to play a little trivia game at the end of the podcast. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, come right back and play our little trivia game. Will Chino, I think last time you won, you got to win? Oh, probably not. You probably lost.
No, probably lost, yeah.
You probably lost. But let's take a quick commercial break and come right back.
I go, all I see is stinking tax cheats.
All right, look who's wrestling wireless now.
This Sega Genesis Royal Rumble is great. I can beat all the tax cheats in the World Wrestling Federation on it. Come on, Bret Hart.
There's Herman R. Shyster playing WWF Royal Rumble on Sega Genesis, which is available in Kmart stores everywhere. And while IRS is wrestling wireless with its dual turbo remote control, you too can run down to Kmart and register to win a trip to the Royal Rumble yourself live. Watch out, Ray's Rumble.
Go down to Kmart, Sexy Chino, and maybe you can go to the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, the Kmart that doesn't exist anymore. It's like I'm not sure. They said it might exist online, but I know that a lot of Kmarts are gone now. So it used to be like a lot of exclusives that you could go to Kmart and get.
Yeah.
But like now, there's like no Kmart anymore.
Yeah.
It got taken out by Walmart and the Targets.
And I have a feeling Mike Rotunda, IRS, has never played a video game in his life. I feel like you could even probably beat him at a video game at Royal Rumble.
No, probably let the computer do it. Just let the computer do it because of it. Erwin R. Shyster, I'm pretty sure. Like, if you look at him trying to play, was he hitting the guy? I don't know.
Questionable. He might have not actually been playing. Yeah. All right. So this is what we're gonna do, Chino. We're doing Royal Rumble 20 questions. Royal Rumble 20 questions. And of course, like always, you get a lifeline. You can call someone, even though you've never called anyone in your life. But you got to guess a competitor that has been at a premium live event, Royal Rumble pay-per-view. I'm giving you one clue. because you're just so bad at these.
Yes, I'm so horrible.
He was in a Royal Rumble match. Like the actual elimination match.
Well, I guess Razor Ramon's out of it.
So there you go. It's not Razor
It's
Ramon.
not Razor Ramon.
That's your one clue. All right. So let's get this party started. Start with your questions.
Okay, was this wrestler in 1990 to 2000 Royal Rumble?
Was he in from 1990 to 2000?
Yeah.
He was.
Okay. Was this wrestler from 1990 to 1995?
He was.
Alright. Was this wrestler ever a champion?
In WWF, nope. Never won a title.
Never won a title. Okay. Was this wrestler ever in a main event?
At a pay-per-view? Never. No. Never at a pay-per-view. He was never at a pay-per-view main event. I'll give you this. He was never like a main eventer.
He was never a main event. Was he a top mid card?
I'll say this. I'm gonna try to give you more clues because I've noticed you're pretty bad at these. But so he was never like, he might have been a mid carder. He's not a guy that was ever considered to be a title guy, but based on potential, he could have, like when he first came in. I could have seen him being one considered as like, okay, this guy has potential. Maybe he could, but maybe the character, lack of promo skills never got him there. That's 5 questions.
Okay. So 20. All right.
So far you know this guy was in one of the Rumbles from 90 to 95.
Yeah,
never a champion, never a main eventer. Had maybe potential to go somewhere, but he never did. Lack of promo skills, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, was this guy ever at WrestleMania?
Was he ever at a WrestleMania?
Yes.
Did he ever wrestle at a WrestleMania? You know what? I don't think he ever wrestled at a WrestleMania.
Okay.
He might have wrestled at a dark match. If he did, maybe it was a WrestleMania 8, but I don't even think he was at that one. No, I don't think he would ever. Maybe a dark match. That's 6 questions. Was that music helping? You want that music again?
Yeah, exactly. Was this 2000?
He was in 90 to 95.
He was in a WrestleMania.
I don't think he ever wrestled at a WrestleMania.
Never wrestled WrestleMania.
Lack of promo skills. Potential, but never went anywhere.
So never wrestled WrestleMania with promo skills. Was he ever at SummerSlam?
Was he? I guess I should have done my homework, huh? I don't even think he was ever at a SummerSlam either.
No, only at the Royal Rumble so far, right?
I think he would maybe he might have done a Survivor Series, maybe 91. Maybe 91 Survivor Series. And then I'll tell you this much. He was in a couple of Rumbles.
But he never did a WrestleMania or he never did a SummerSlam.
You might prove me wrong, say he was at a WrestleMania. And if he was, it might have been 8, but I don't even think he was at a WrestleMania.
He was a... So, does this guy have a long career in the WWF, WWE?
I think his run was only maybe a couple years during that time, and I'm giving you clues. Maybe 92, 93, and that might have been it.
Mid-card.
8 questions.
Okay. Is this wrestler Did he ever 90? So did he ever main event Raw?
Did he ever main event a Raw? I think he was still around during when Raw happened, but I don't think he might have maybe been in a main event. He probably didn't win. I not anything that I can remember.
Okay, is this wrestler?
Like he might have been there for the first year of Raw. That might have been it.
That might have been it. Okay, is this wrestler? Oh, he never made event Raw.
Like he might have. Maybe he did the JOB in the main event.
The potential.
You want to ask like heel, face?
Okay.
Trying to give you clues here.
Okay, was he a heel? Or?
Gimmick. He was a heel. He was a heel. And I think only a heel in WWF.
He's only a heel?
Yeah. Couple year run, never won a title. Might have only been at Survivor Series. I think he might have been at he was in two Royal Rumbles, and he might have been at the 91 Survivor Series thing, I think. On one of the teams. I'm pretty sure he was in one of the teams.
At 91.
91. He's a heel.
I know he's a heel.
He's a heel.
Was this wrestler?
You don't want to narrow.
Okay. Was this Russ? No, because that's for. So did this wrestler have other gimmicks?
He just had the one gimmick in WWF. It was just one gimmick. 11 questions.
Alright. What's okay? 91. I'm trying to think. 91. Two was 5. Okay. Was this wrestler? Does this wrestler team up with? Does this wrestler a tag partner?
No, I know for sure he was in some tag matches, but he never was in a tag team like the Rockers or anything. But I remember him being in some tag matches with other heels. 12 questions.
Okay, so
Maybe you need to narrow down the years, the gimmick.
the gimmick. So you can't say the gimmick, right?
No, but you can ask what kind of gimmick. Maybe you can ask what did he wear long tights? Did he wear? Did he have big furry hair like that? Did he wear trunks?
Okay, did this guy? Did he wear trunks?
He wore those kind of trunks that we were watching the Royal Rumble. What is this, 96 Royal Rumble?
95.
He wore trunks kind of the size of the what's that guy? Jacob Blue or kind of like that,
Blue.
yeah.
Yeah, trunks. Oh.
13 questions.
What's okay? Trunks.
He's a heel.
He's a heel.
Never won a title. Had potential. Lack of promo skills. Maybe you can ask. He had short hair. Did he have short hair? Long hair?
Yeah.
Did he have hair?
Trying to dude. Okay, does he have, what kind of hair do he have, dude?
Oh, I can't tell you. Only yes or no.
Okay, yes or no. That's what you just said.
Well, you're gonna ask like, did he have long hair? Did he have hair?
Okay. Did he okay. Did he have a theme song?
That's a big clue. He did not have a theme song. Is this gonna happen?
He didn't have a theme song?
He did not have a theme song. Oh, Chino, he might do it this time. No hotline needed, no tag. I think you got it.
He didn't have a theme song.
Think about it. Early 90s. Never won a title, had potential, lack of promo skills, no theme song.
Okay, did this guy wear knee pads?
He had knee pads. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Oh.
Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he didn't. But yeah. I'm pretty sure he had knee pads.
Sure he had knee pads?
Yeah.
Short ties.
15 questions.
Short
Maybe narrow down the attire. Maybe. I don't know. Ask some yes or no questions.
Okay, ties.
You know he wore trunks.
No trunks. You say he has knee pads.
And maybe ask him like narrow down the other gear. The hair. I don't know.
No theme song. He only did one. He did 2 Royal Rumbles, you said?
Yeah. That's another question. Even though that was a clue, I'm going to count that as a question just for the sake of time here.
Yeah, sure.
16 questions.
All right.
You got 4 more questions, and then you have to guess.
Okay.
So try to narrow down, like
No theme song.
try to narrow down like his attire, hair, other stuff that would help.
Never had promo skills.
Might have only been at Rumbles and maybe one Survivor Series. You might prove me wrong though. I wouldn't be surprised. But he did not. If he was at a WrestleMania or SummerSlam, I guarantee you it was not a marquee match. It was not one of the ones you were like. It was a filler match. If it was.
Okay. Is this wrestler okay, so you said this wrestler is okay, so this wrestler is from 1990
to 95.
Okay,
He was in 2 Rumbles.
he has no theme song.
He was early. He might have been on one of the early episodes of Raw, maybe the first year.
Okay, is this wrestler from Parts Unknown?
I'm still going to count it as a question, but I don't know if he was ever deemed from Parts Unknown. He might have been. He's a wrestler that looks like could have been from Parts Unknown, but I think they might have said where he's from.
Is this wrestler from the outer reaches of your mind?
No.
Okay.
18 questions. Yeah, 2 more questions. I don't know. You think about like asking about features like facial hair, long hair versus short hair with your last 2 questions.
All right.
He has no theme song.
He has no theme song.
There's not a lot of guys that didn't have a theme song.
Oh.
I see a little light bulb, right?
Okay, is this wrestler had a manager?
He did have a manager. That's 19. You got 1 more question, and then we need to guess.
Is this wrestler feuded with The Undertaker?
He did feud with The Undertaker. Now you got to guess. That's 20 questions.
Okay. Short time. Had knee pads, feuded with The Undertaker.
He had a manager.
He had a
Never won the title. Had potential. I don't think he never went for it. Might have only been at like 2 Rumbles and a Survivor Series.
I think
91.
I know who it is.
Let's hear it.
Don't you want me to take my lifeline just for the love of it?
All right, let's call. Let's see. You actually want a lifeline?
I'll take
All
my
right.
lifeline just for the love of it.
I think you already told me who you would like to call.
Yeah, I think so. Just let's see if this guy knows.
Let's see if he knows this lifeline. And if he doesn't answer, you're gonna have to take a guess.
Yeah, I'll take a guess.
Hey,
What's up? Show off, Matt. You're on the Retro Wave podcast. Sexy Chino needs you for a quick lifeline here. You got a minute?
sure.
Can you hear him?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
He has to guess a wrestler that's wrestled at a Royal Rumble in a Royal Rumble match. So he's gonna give you the clues. Give him the clues.
Okay, he has no theme song. He's only been in the Royal Rumble twice. And he has a manager. And he's feuded with The Undertaker.
He's what with The Undertaker?
Feuded with The Undertaker.
He's feuded.
Kane?
He has no theme song.
He has no theme song.
He's never won a title.
He's never won a title.
And he has a manager. He had a manager.
He had a manager.
How embarrassing. I have no idea. Can't believe it. I'm your lifeline. Rudy, you're my lifeline. Has no theme song?
No theme song.
He has no.
I should definitely know that. How embarrassing. The Royal Rumble? Oh, can't be that.
He was in 2 Royal Rumbles from 1990 to 1995. That's another clue.
95.
I think he's stumped.
Wow.
Stumped,
That's terrible. No.
All right, that's it. So you want to tap out? Well, Rudy has to take a guess.
Now I have to take a guess. So,
Let's see. What you got, Rudy? Who is it?
okay. I think it's the Berserker.
It is the Berserker. Is the Berserker?
Wow.
You remember the Berserker, Matt?
Yeah, of course. I didn't know that he didn't have a theme song, but all right.
He did it. This is the first time he's ever gotten like one of these questions right.
Yeah, I'm usually bad at this, you know.
Well, thanks for answering. But
Thank you for calling.
I'm gonna reach out to you soon because I'm having a birthday soon. So I'll shoot you a text. See if you can make it.
All right, great. You guys
All right,
have fun.
Matt.
Have a
Thanks for
good
answering.
evening.
Right.
Later, man.
Bye.
I go show off. Matt couldn't help you, but he remembers the Berserker. It was the Berserker, Sexy Chino.
This guy's got some real problems. Face slam.
Aren't you proud of yourself?
I would say David Isley had some serious.
Yeah, like I really thought about it when you said no managers and like no theme songs. I really
No, I said he had a manager.
yeah, he
It was Harvey, right?
When you start saying short, and when you said feuded with The Undertaker, that takes a lot.
And then I was kind of trying to give you a clue or watching the Royal Rumble 96. He looked like the Jacob and Eli Blue guy. That's to say, oh yeah, he has trunks like this guy right.
You said like I was thinking short tights and when yeah, no theme song. That's a really good one. But when you just said feuding with The Undertaker, that did it.
All right, so before you got it right. This is your first 20 questions you've gotten right.
Yeah, the other one I had to do with like I was facing Myra.
Yeah.
And then that's the only reason I won that one.
But like 20 questions, you never won at 20 questions.
No,
one.
I never won 20.
So before we go to our commercial and wrap things up,
Yeah.
give us a Berserker impersonation.
Hush, hush, hush.
Are you saying hush? I thought he always said huss. Huss.
Was international, no, but he okay. Before we go to commercial breaks, here's a good story. So we went this year to the WrestleFan Fest.
Oh yeah.
And one of the main reasons he wanted to go to the WrestleFan Fest, El Tiburon, right? They wanted to go because he wanted to meet the Berserker, right? Because he wanted to get his stuff signed. And the guy was advertised to be there.
And he wasn't there.
And then I checked later on for the next day, and he was there hanging out with Jake the Snake Roberts.
So he was there, but that son of a bitch wasn't at his table.
Exactly.
Hush, 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 hush. I always thought it was huss, but maybe it was hush. We'll let the listeners decide what it was. I don't think it was hush. It was huss. Hush.
The language doesn't barrier.
All right, well, we're gonna go to our last commercial break and wrap things up here.
Look who's in the house! Oh yeah, look who's wrestling wireless now! It's Men on a Mission, Mo, Oscar, and Mabel!
You Hulk Hogan, man. Yo, Mo, you Macho Man Randy Savage. Get him.
Oh yeah, they're playing WWF Royal Rumble on Sega Genesis, which is currently available in Kmart stores all over North America. While Mo and Mabel are playing with their dual turbo remote control, you yourself could be running down to Kmart and registering to win a trip to see the Royal Rumble live. Look out, Quebecers.
Get down to Kmart, Sexy Chino, for the last time.
Yeah.
It's open. It's still open.
It's still open online, hopefully.
It's next to the Newberry, the Woolworths, Toys R Us.
And Chow World.
And Blockbuster. And Funko Land.
And Hollywood Video.
All right, Sexy Chino. Well, thanks for coming on. A very victorious way to start the year for Sexy Chino. He's even shocked himself.
I'm even shocked myself. Like, usually I do so horrible in this. I was expecting to job already. So
you're doing the JOB.
Gotta do the JOB.
Yeah, but why don't you let the listeners know where they can find you on the social medias and what you're doing with wrestling right now?
Right now, like, you can always follow me at Dance Chino Dance. That's on the Twitter and Instagram. You can check out at Wrestling Pro Wrestling. That's on Instagram. On the Twitter is at Wrestling PW. I also I believe at West Covina Wrestling. So we're doing some training. If you want to check it out, the DM that site. But yeah, overall, like, if you want to check it out, just, I'll be there. And it's all about, like, I also have at Compton Mania. So check them out. They're very cool. They got Paul London being their champion right now. So if you remember that name, he's there. And yeah, pretty much I do, like, you'll see my schedule, lucha events here and there, But yeah, you want to check out 247, the One Night Dance.
There you go. I'll put his links in the show notes and description, depending on where you're listening or watching. For me, Retro Tiburon, all the social medias, retrotiburon.com. If you want to leave a voicemail to participate, that voicemail is drier than the Sahara Desert, but you can leave a voicemail there. I have merch if you want to help support the podcast. I live stream video games on YouTube, do unboxings, and do pickup videos. That's Retro Tiburon on YouTube. I'll put links to all his Chino stuff and my stuff, show notes if you're listening on the audio end, description if you're watching on YouTube. Yeah, but that's it. But before I go, now I've always been asking people, like, say a quote, a saying you go by, something, a piece of advice someone has given you that you liked, and just in life. What you got, Chino? Putting you on the spot.
You want to put me on the spot? Okay. One of the best advice I got from Adam Pearce always told me, work smarter, not harder. Remember that. Works smarter, not harder. It tells you a lot and explains everything.
I live by that motto. I do live by that. Listen to that, dummies. Listen to that advice.
Yeah, that's nice to call your fans dummies. No doubt nobody's going to call you, leave a message, Yeah, when you insult the audience. You're pretty good at this.
And this is the last episode of the Retro Wave podcast. See you guys next time. See you guys on the other side. By the way, I don't think you guys are dumb. You guys are very smart. Love you guys.